This is a WTOK News 11 special report.
Since September of 1953, WTOK-TV has broadcast a television signal into the homes of eastern Mississippi and western Alabama.
And now, welcome to the finest in television entertainment on WTOK-TV, Channel 11, Meridian, Mississippi.
WTOK-TV created a legacy that is unequaled. Day after day, the people of WTOK-TV promise to serve decades of innovation, decades of quality news, weather, and sports production, decades of entertainment. This is WTOK-TV's legacy of local.
Hello and welcome to a very special look at WTOK-TV that we like to call our legacy of local. This is a reflection on the past and our hopes for the future. Every single person who works at WTOK had one goal: to make your life better, safer, and more informed. At times we made you laugh and cry and cheer and even get angry over the injustices in the region and the world. And now we celebrate 70 amazing years, 70 years of service. This is our legacy of local. The journey started September 26, 1953. Two best friends, Robert Wright and Billy Crooks, built on a successful Meridian radio station foundation to launch WTOK-TV.
We were considered fools. A vice president of one of the networks in New York told me, said anybody put a station in Meridian, Mississippi. Crazy, man.
With one camera, one studio, and black and white pictures, WTOK started broadcasting programs, commercials, and news as a CBS affiliate.
I understand that Bob just approached Bill and said, put a radio station on there, I want you to be sales manager. And I think it was just about that way that they started. And then Billy Battle went along with him on this, on the dream to get television here. Bob Holland was among the first that we added to the staff here.
We had some of the best people in charge of the station.
We didn't have a lot of the equipment that we take for granted today, such as this videotape that we're using. We didn't have radar. I used to do 10 minutes of weather at night.
TV stations in the early 50s struggled. The revenue was limited as the owners and board of directors figure out how to run a TV station. It took local advertisers, banks, and the CBS network decisions to pay local TV stations like WTOK to broadcast their programs.
Bob Wright was the chairman of the CBS Board of Affiliates in 1968. Now, for the smallest market in the country, to have the chairman of the affiliate, that was just unheard of at the time.
WTOK found a way to grow and survive. The station became an ABC affiliate in the late 70s. Robert Wright and the local board of directors left the television business once they sold to William Hobby of Agency Communications. That's the same Hobby family that bears the name of the William Hobby International Airport in Houston.
And we pledge to our viewers to continue that same high tradition of public service.
The next owner in 1985, another very famous name, Jerry Jones, the same Jerry Jones who owns the Dallas Cowboys. Mr. Jones's interest in WTOK-TV ended in 1988 when he sold to the Benedict Group. Robert Ward was general manager for the Hobby family and Jerry Jones.
I left in '88, and my reasoning was that cable was growing. Cable at the time was growing so much faster than we could grow. When I left, I think we had about 40 full-time people, and we had probably 5 part-time people, mainly afternoon part-timers. And the crew that I left here probably stayed for decades.
Jerry Jones sold WTOK to Benedict Broadcasting in 1988. Gray Television, the station's current ownership group, bought WTOK-TV in 2002. 8 general managers have guided WTOK-TV over 70 years to serve its viewers and its advertisers. Two general managers have the longest tenures, the owner, Robert Wright, and Tim Walker. Mr. Walker is now the general manager at WDAM in Hattiesburg.
You know, for me, I started to work at 14, but I was a radio guy. I didn't know much about television. And I got the opportunity to get into it in a place where I could learn as much as possible, or as much as I wanted to, really, and do as much as I wanted to do and be involved in any way I wanted to. And I got to do that for nearly 35 years here.
This is a station that is part of the community, part of the fabric. It's a legacy of local. There are not many stations like this in the country. Not many stations where it feels like family and where we think of our viewers as family and where we're in your homes every night and we know sometimes we're scared and sometimes we're sad and sometimes we celebrate together. There are not many stations like this in the United States. It's special.
Only 8 people have led our WTOK-TV family in the past 70 years. Think about that. That's hard to believe. Robert Wright, there he is, the original owner. Then comes Robert Ward. He was the guy that hired me almost 40 years ago. There's Bruce Miller. He was kind of flamboyant, great GM. And then Tom Wall. Called him the Irishman, great guy. And Tracy Jones, our first female general manager. Ray Chumley followed Tracy. He was a big Rocky Top guy, great GM. Tim Walker, one of our favorites. He worked at our station for almost 40 years. And Jackie Harms, who is our current general manager. All great folks. Now, every day you welcome WTOK-TV into your homes, whether it's on your television set, computer monitor, smartphones, or with a streaming service. You choose WTOK-TV, and the people that deliver the news and weather often become family.
Working in front of the camera or even in the audio booth at WTOK could make you an instant celebrity in Meridian. Bob Holland was one of the first announcers and, of course, one of the most famous television personalities at the station.
I had no radar, I had no satellite feeds, I had no graphics at all. All I had was a forecast and a chalkboard, and we spent 10 minutes talking about the weather.
Leslie Lee Priester was the first woman to sell commercials.
And I was the first female to sell advertising. Well, after about 4 or 5 months, Mr. Wright, Bob Wright, said, if you will keep on selling advertising, but we'll be on the air. And I said, oh gosh, no.
In the early 1970s, the station went 6 years without anyone leaving or joining the WTOK staff. But as opportunities opened, Barbara Kidd eagerly said yes to a job as a cameraman and quickly proved to be an asset in the newsroom, eventually becoming an anchor.
I worked my way into the news department by producing what we call the 5 o'clock report at that time.
Lisa Kittrell started as an intern in 1978. Meridian was home for Kittrell. She recognized how special WTOK was to so many as they launched their broadcast career. She left WTOK after a 22-year career that included the anchor desk.
Well, you know what I love about WTOK is all the hands-on experience, you know, that you get. It's just like throw you to the wolves in a nice way, and that's just, you know, you learn by doing, but you really learn by doing here.
Steve Reska for the News Center.
You know, this is a place where you get started. Most people look at this as a small market, and so people come and go, and they often wonder, why do you have such a turnover at TOK? It's a place where you can be creative. For some of us, it's home. For some of us, it's a learning ground. For me, it's home. So I have seen the carousel of people come through.
Mother, mother, there's too many of you to cry.
Down on that end, the end of the hall, is Barbara Kidd. Let's go down and meet her and see what she's working on.
John Johnson walked into the WTOK newsroom in 1985. He dedicated 35 years of his career to the station as a reporter, photographer, producer, anchor, and news director. He sat at the anchor desk for 26 years.
From the Neshoba County Fair, Brian Magruder, the News Center.
And I came here back in July of '86 thinking, well, this would be a nice little stopover until I get another job.
36 years later, Lindsay Hall is now the anchor of WTOK's new midday show and Live at 5.
It's just meeting everybody out there in our area. It's the people. A lot of people come up and they say, man, it must be getting old. Stopped in restaurants and stopped in and people talk, because a grocery store trip, which should be 10 minutes, turns into an hour. But I love it. I mean, I'm the opposite. I absolutely love that stuff. And when it stops, that's what I'll miss the most. I hope it doesn't stop anytime soon.
The broadcast journalists know it's a privilege to serve the viewers of WTOK-TV. The staff understands the station is part of everyone's daily lives and becomes like family to so many.
When Governor William Winter faced reporters today, the questions again returned to the fate of convicted child killer Jimmy Lee Gray.
It's just such an honor to be able to be that voice for the community every night when I do get behind the desk. And, you know, that's just the end of the day for me, just getting on there and telling the news. But to the community, it's so much more to them.
So when I'm out and about, I sometimes am caught off guard when people come up to me, because I just feel like I'm home and around my neighborhood and community, and I just kind of blend in. So when people look at me as someone who's like a local celebrity, I always get a little shy, and I'm quick to tell them, no, I'm not. You know, I'm just the person who gives you the weather.
I think the rewarding part of that is this station never lost its soul. The station always shined, and it was a place that young people got their start and they moved on to incredible jobs. And people also, a whole different set of people, worked here for a lifetime and continue to work here for a lifetime that call it a true career in this one place.
Well, anyone who works at WTOK will tell you it's a privilege and honor to serve the people who live and work in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Next on this special show we call Legacy of Local, a look at our dedication to you and how we find ways to serve the community.
All I can say is what a wonderful and impressive and important 70 years it's been. Congratulations, everyone.
From all of us at GMA, happy 70th anniversary to all of you at WTOK.